Galder. Thanks for the 55 months, dude. I actually just got out of my meeting with Luke and Jacob about the direction of everything we're doing, and I got some stuff to talk to you about, so looking forward to chatting with you about that. Yeah, I guess just a little bit of spoilers is I definitely want to make use of your teaching experience and run with it. I got some ideas. Thank you, Blue Launch. Sounds about right, Calder. I don't remember exactly what I said for Clockwork, but if you're having success with them, I trust you on that one. I mean, the main point of the video was to mainly update people on changes, but I don't think I've seen any Clockwork in competitive, so I think the average competitive player thinks he's worse, but doesn't mean that's true. I don't think the hero's been picked in competitive. I might be wrong. Did he get picked? PGO? Clockwork got picked 11 times. Okay, so he got some play. Am I not in my live stream? I thought I was on YouTube. There we go. No need to be insulting, Big Bick. No need. No need to be rude. Okay. Got our coaching session ready. Or hopefully he's ready. He is here, I know that, but... Yo, how's it going? You are muted.
Hello,
Hello?
hello, hello.
How's it
Can you
going?
hear me now? Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me
hear
now?
you.
Yeah, it's going all right. I'm gonna go and Tame Impala concert after this session.
Very cool. Very cool. Got to make sure you get the educational stuff in first.
Yes, obviously. First you educate and then entertainment.
Of course, of course.
Uh,
So last time we talked, you were playing Ursa, I believe.
yes,
And
yes.
we were talking a lot about how that hero scales, and it seemed like you had a pretty good idea of him. But before like the 25-minute mark, and then had to make that shift in mentality. Have you been sticking to Ursa, or like what's today? What's the thoughts? What's happened since the last session?
Yeah, so I played since then 16 games on Ursa, and unfortunately I lost 10 of them and
Oof.
won on the 6. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't know, like hero doesn't work for me yet, I would say. But I still do enjoy playing them. So no hard feelings. And this is a very like interesting replay from my perspective because here I had like very hard lane, and which I kind of salvaged, but I'm not sure. Like I want your opinion on this because like in this lane I don't think I pulled a single time. And then I felt really useless during the game later. And and this is like a type of a game that I have not on Ursa. Occasionally on many different heroes, I have a type of a game like this, and I wanted to discuss what I should do and like whether I approach it correctly or not.
Sure. What's the MMR looking like right now since we last spoke?
I think it's 1500, so like a
Okay.
little bit up.
Okay. Very cool. Uh,
For every loss on Ursa, I have a win on Lifestealer. So
Gotcha. Yeah, Lifestealer is a good hero. Okay. Check it out. Oh yes, the walk for the rune. I've learned this lesson.
This is a Pegasus.
How often do you lane against Beastmaster?
Not very often, but it's getting more and more often the higher I go in MMR. So like when I was 1700 like a couple days before, and I saw like 3 Beastmasters. But before that, I never seen him. So in this lane, I don't feel safe like anywhere, like even under my tower. Like I constantly like harassed, and this lion, like from my perspective, can do like whatever he wants, and these boars can do whatever they want. So I tried to rush Ring of Health, and I also thought maybe I should get a Bracer, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
So the only question when we rush Ring of Health is, does that fix the problem? Meaning, like, are we now able to sustain the lane? That's just the question we have to ask ourselves. Sometimes that's the case is yes. Sometimes the case is no. If the answer is no and you buy Ring of Health, you're fucked. That's been my experience.
I thought they had like a periodic damage, so like it's not a burst one. They like slowly wear me down with this access, with this stuns, with the right clicks. So yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that the question is, does the Ring of Health do enough? Like, I'm not saying it does or doesn't. It's just that I'm telling you, if it doesn't do enough and you go you're fucked. That's the commitment you're giving to by choosing it. So if you feel like after having played the lane, you still got harassed out, then the Ring of Health was a bad choice, basically. And the way that you would handle lanes like this is you would rush treads. Just straight treads. because this is what your lane looks like. So then you have treads doing this rather than Ring of Health. You'd rather have, like, died once and have treads than be in the situation you're in right now, basically, where you're stuck jungling half the time and being really slow because you have just brown boots. You know, I think the major thing here is that the second you're here and you're getting harassed underneath your tower, I know that the small camp is, like, absolutely essential for me. So it's just non-stop defensive aggro, which is basically what you're doing already. And then first opportunity, I'm going to pull small camp. So let's see when that is. Not yet. We're just playing the lane. Defensive aggro again. Yeah, I'd go pull small right now. Like, right
So you would
now.
leave the range creep.
Yeah, I'd leave range. Because the techies is supposed to be doing it this whole time. So most I'll give is like 1 creep or so, but I need to pull that small camp in order to get neutral items as well as just a break away from the lane, and it also pulls the wave underneath my tower, which is really nice, so I'm not sitting here getting pelted during this time, like you are right now.
I'm really struggling to, like, pull on this, like, high pressure lane when it's already, like, near my tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, like, counterintuitive to me that I still have to need to pull. Because it's already kind of, like, on the safest place where it could be, the lane.
The
Like,
idea of pulling
almost
is right now, the percentage of the time that you're getting pelted by spells is 95% of the lane. By walking over and pulling right now, you're giving yourself like 20 seconds where you're not getting pelted. And then instead of yourself getting pelted with the creep wave right here, like where the creeps aren't under tower, so they're just dying really slowly. Like, imagine how long it takes for these creeps to die instead of it being back here where they'll die much faster. So, like, what?
Won't Bitmaster deny all my creeps then? I would imagine that he will just deny all the creeps if I leave to pull.
But you don't have creeps. So, like, meaning when you pull, there's no creeps to kill his creeps.
Like, I see.
Like, there's no creeps. So, like, you pull these creeps. Nothing's dying. My point that I'm trying to show you is that when I'm getting harassed a lot, what I need to do is minimize the amount of time that I'm sitting here. And the only way to fix that is the small camp. That is the problem you are fixing. So I'm just telling you that I understand there's, like, you feel like the lane's already here. I'm telling you the problem is you're in range of their spells 95% of the lane. And by pulling small, you give yourself a little bit of a break. You work yourself towards a neutral item. You might miss 1 creep underneath tower, maybe 2, but you got the small camp, so the XP is more and the gold is about the same. And so, like, just notice how you're already sticking, like, you're just getting pelted by spells. So every time that we pull the small camp, that's 15 seconds where we're not getting pelted by spells. And it's few and far between. Like, that's your only chance. So, like, this would be another one where, like, you would have defensive aggroed here. You would hit, you would hit, you'd hit. Like, you keep hitting, you keep hitting, you keep hitting. And then you'd give up the range again and do it again right now. And then that's, like, 15 seconds of you out of the lane, not getting pelted by spells. The techies does it for you, so it's all good. And now the lane's, like, so what I would try to do is pull small, but it is blocked, it looks like. So I think the only one you really missed is that, but otherwise the lane is just hard. I'm just pointing out to you that, honestly, if I'm getting super harassed, I'd rather the support lane and me go take the small camp pull rather than him pulling it and me laning. Because the issue is the sustain. Is what
I think I undervalue a little bit.
Yeah.
As I can. Okay.
It's something I've been having to tell everybody, so it's not just you.
You know, like, I listen all the time to others, and, like, I see, I see to myself, yeah, for sure, I would pull here, and then they give you the replay.
Yeah, I mean, this lane's a bit tough because it is being pressured into you consistently, and the window for opportunity is very small. So it's not exactly like an easy lane to do it. But overall, like, you know, the fact that you, like, I'd say the Ring of Health ended up being fine here. Like, what it offered you, I think, like, I mean, you're going to go Treads Ring of Health either way. It just matters which one you go first. So So I'd say overall it worked out for you here. Like, for me, it looks like it was a successful item choice. And you have managed to stick in the lane. Yeah, so I think the only major thing here is just getting better at the defensive aggro. So, like, here you defensive aggro looks like right here you defensive aggro, but then so like you did it a bit early where the creeps only chase you for like a split second, and the goal is that like against heroes that nuke the wave, Beastmaster, Underlord, anything like that. I mean, any hero that throws abilities on the creep wave, we don't want to be standing in the creep wave. So like you would creep aggro the creeps to here, and your hero would be over here. So this is like a pretty consistent thing with any hero that hits the wave with spells. We got to be very careful of just getting pelted by these spells. Because there's no point in positioning ourselves to deny creeps, because you're never going to deny them. Your Ursa, very bad hero at denying. Fury Swipes doesn't work on allied creeps, so you're just kind of tanking spells. There's like times where you want to play on top of the creep wave, and there's times where you don't. And this would be a lane where you want to minimize the amount of times you're on top of your own creep wave. You know, you want to minimize
felt undodgeable.
The lion suck?
No, the access.
Yeah, I mean it's like one of those things where I want you to, where is it? I want you to understand that you only have to be here when this creep is dying. So like I'm always moving these creeps towards me. Like every time I'm just doing what you're doing here, but you're doing it oddly weirdly. I don't know how to explain it. I have to like kind of figure this out. But the other one is like when you're on top of the wave like this, you can't dodge the axes now. But if you're right here, you can dodge the axes. So like it's already too late. So you're saying it's impossible to dodge. What I'm telling you is if you're sitting on top of the creep wave, yes, you're not going to dodge it. But if you're sitting over here, then moving slightly to the side is possible by the time this lands. And this is just something to keep in mind. And it's tough. Like, this is a tough lane. You're under a lot of duress. So, like, this isn't meant to be, like, easy. You know? It's just, I'm telling you, this is theoretically what it takes to...
That's fine. Like, I'd love a challenge. So.
Yeah. It's the hardest part about this is you're under a lot of duress and you have to CS and shit. Like, it is hard. It's a tough lane. They're doing a pretty good job of pressuring you. Especially for, like, you know, like a 1K game. It's not like these guys are pros, but they're doing a pretty good job of keeping the pressure up, so.
Yeah, now like a classic Slark.
Slark comes through the Twin Gate. Frustrating.
Yes.
Not much you can do about this one.
Yes.
Okay, I like this.
So the interesting thing about this game is that like I felt that we are for sure like losing like 5K or something like that, especially like in like 5-10 minutes. But apparently I watched like briefly replay before sending to you. Apparently we were up 4K, and I didn't realize this at all during the game because like they were constantly pressuring us. Like the waves always were like shoving into our towers, and yeah, I would love to like, I don't know, develop a little bit better sense of the game, because maybe I would play it like a little bit less scared if I knew that the aggression is a little bit unjustified.
My question is, if you're down by 4K or up by 4K, like what's the difference, basically? Like in terms of how it affects your decision making. Like say you were to know that number, like how does it affect your decision making?
Maybe I will like take maybe I will go in more fights, you know, but I'm not sure.
So for me, there is merit to this discussion, but for me it's just what do I think the capabilities of my hero are at all times. This has like nothing to do with which team I think is winning. It's just how are my timings looking? How are my matchups? What heroes on my team synergize well with my hero? The thing about team net worth is, for me, it doesn't fucking matter because you're one of 10 heroes, and it's hard enough to understand you're one hero. So I'd be purely thinking about everything that's going on in the game from the perspective of my hero. Like, what heroes on my team do I need? So, like, I don't have a stun. So, like, I'm not really going to be able to do much in this game unless I have a Legion Commander dueling somebody. So, unless I'm near her on the map, it doesn't matter if I'm down 6k or I'm up 6k. I'm probably not killing anybody. Maybe techies if we're up really far. Like, if I think I'm really strong and we can maybe kill with the techies. Or maybe I have Basher at this point. I guess just my point is that in my experience, I often find people in the lower MMRs, like the lower you go, the more likely it is to happen, thinking about shit that I would describe as not mattering.
Okay.
So in my opinion, thinking about who's winning net worth wise is irrelevant to your decisions that are going on in the game. Having a good sense of how strong you are is incredibly relevant. And sure, there's some correlation between who's winning and how strong you are, but, or like who has the higher net worth or whatever. But I don't think understanding team net worths is very useful in my experience. Like, this isn't a thought I've had in a year. Like, I haven't thought about this. Yeah. Does that answer your question or thought? Or I don't want to just tell you don't think about that, but I'd focus it more around your hero, is what I'm trying to say.
I understand. So let's watch a little bit further then.
Yeah, we can keep going. But right now, I'm curious what you're thinking. You're just playing recovery mode, right? You're playing with Battle Fury. Your lanes wasn't perfect, but honestly, 14-minute Battle Fury with like getting pretty heavily pressured in lane, I'd say that's a win.
Yeah.
Pretty reasonably timed Battle Fury. I like that you rotated to mid. You went back to top to get a kill.
Yeah,
I like that.
So basically, I can't return to my lane because like all the time there's some shit happening there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think what you did...
is it correct thinking that like I shouldn't be there because on a previous replay that like we watched like 2 weeks ago, like I also like left my lane and you told me that it was like a little bit premature, and here I thought no way I should get back.
Yeah, so in the game you're in, 100% agreed. I don't know if you've actually seen it. I have an educational Smurf game from like 7 months ago or so, where I was literally showing this is how you make sure you get a 12-minute Battle Fury, and it was playing Ursa, and it was going mid at like 7 minutes in both games because I got booted out of my lane. And the main point of the video is be flexible in what lane you're going to play. And, you know, I don't remember exactly this point from our last session, but there is such thing as, like, giving it up too early. But I think your decision-making in this regard in this game was accurate. Like, I think I really liked your decision-making this time. Like, you pretty much played exactly how I played in my educational Smurf game, which is go mid, get some levels, play here. You saw an opportunity to go back to your lane briefly, get a kill, and then go back to what you were doing. That was literally almost exactly what I did in my example. So... what you did is really great, I think. You know, the question I have, and we know where it goes wrong, is you have a Battle Fury, and the question is, why are you hitting a tier 1 tower by yourself with a Battle Fury?
Yeah, this is a Pepega moment. I just blacked out. I don't know. I should be here for sure.
But the question is why you're here. Like, is there a sense of pressure on you that you think you're supposed to be doing something in the game? Or is this just a complete space out mentally? Like, usually it's not just a space out mentally, but sometimes it is.
No, I just saw a lot of like fights on the side lanes, and nobody came to mid lane for a while, and I thought that I could get away with this because they will like, stick into the side lanes. But obviously that's just
just so you know, the reason it doesn't work is because their cores are highly mobile. Slark and Co-op. If these are cores like Bristleback and, you know, some shit that can't jump on you, then it's different. But when you're hitting a tower, I need you to think, can these heroes catch me if they chase me? If the answer is yes, you shouldn't be doing this. It's just their mobility that makes this a bad play. And it's important that you understand why it's bad, because there are games where doing what you did is good, but against like Co-op, Slark, no, it's not good. Well, they ended up feeding, so it worked out a little bit. You set that up, as I always say. Okay.
Once I get Blink, I always try to find like an opportunity to join a fight on Ursa.
Yeah.
And here, like it's worked out, like in this particular instance, but I don't think I will find another one in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. So real quick.
That's why I felt like useless in this game.
Well, yeah. So I told you what the condition for fighting was, right?
Yes.
Do you think about that very often in your games? I'm curious.
I think I like on Ursa. I often like think on what target I can jump. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if it's a lion, I maybe can jump.
Well, do you know what the formula for killing somebody in Dota is?
The formula for killing somebody.
What are the
in
two
Dota?
things you need to kill somebody?
Stun them and damage.
Yeah. So what is Ursa, right?
Yeah. So I have damage, but like LC has stun.
Yeah. So the whole idea here is that like, what I'm trying to say is, who cares if you're up by 4K? Is it possible for you to connect to Legion Commander? That's the only thing that matters in the entire game. Sometimes it's going to feel impossible, and that just means you can't make plays. And sometimes you're not going to fully understand why, but like you know what the mission is. And it shouldn't feel bad to not make plays. It's just we need to know what a play looks like. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We want to see it when it happens. It's not about like, you never know if you just walked past the love of your life. You never know.
Yes.
But when she shows up, we need to know. We need to be ready. It's the same thing here. Legion Commander is the love of your life in this analogy.
I think like the problem like I had this game is that I can't just follow Legion Commander because all the lanes are constantly pushed by Beastmaster and Co-op.
Of course
so
not. Of course.
I have to push like the other lane where Legion Commander like where she's not on, and it's hard to connect to TLC.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So like right there is a good connection, but the Co-op has a Lincoln, so now you know like you plus Legion's not enough to kill Co-op. Yes. What I'm telling you is I totally get that the games are going to be hard. I'm going to watch this entire game through the lens of, did you miss an opportunity to connect to Legion? That's all.
I see.
Yeah.
I didn't ask these questions to myself during the game.
So sometimes it is really hard, and the answer is like, it's just hard. But so like right now, you saw 4 heroes top, Legion's right here, smoked, and you ran backwards. Where are you going? Farm this camp and go towards your Legion. That's an example. So, as a carry, our job is to advance on the map when we can and retreat on the map when we have to. So right now, you see a bunch of stuff top, and you're signed to be aggressive. There's 2 things that make us aggressive. One, the people on our team that make us strong being nearby. That's one. And the other is people on the other team not being nearby, right? Like we know that the enemy team isn't sitting there as 5. So I'm not going to like walk down this creep wave and run into 5 heroes. Those are like the 2 things we need. So what I show people when you're in these really frustrating games, because this is a hard game, you're against a lot of split push, you have limited playmaking potential, and quite frankly, it's a really bad Ursa game. Your hero sucks against Lion, sucks against Slark, and I hate Ursa into Beastmaster as well. I don't even like it into Co-op. I literally hate Ursa into all of their heroes. So the point is that what is easy to get caught up in is this big picture stuff of this game feels awful and I feel like I can't make plays. What I'm trying to tell you is that is an accurate feeling, but it doesn't do anything. It's way too general. Like, we need to do something with it, right? Like, what is the actionable of that? So for me, the actionable thing, if you're a hero that likes to make plays, is to understand what heroes on your team you need to make plays with, and then use that as a gauge for when I walk aggressively or when I walk defensively. So this is a perfect example where it seems like a minute thing to a lot of people, but you clear this creep wave and you have 3 heroes just show top, and your Legion Commander is hunting over here. And instead of advancing on the map, you blink to the right and then retreat. And this stuff matters a lot. It just adds up so much. what happens is instead of Legion running mid, she probably sees you doing this. She camps this bottom wave. Likely in this MMR, one of them shows up there by themselves and feeds. And if they don't do that, you're just free farming down here. And like this play probably doesn't happen. You see how this, you simply retreating to this makes Legion leave this area and go this way. Do you see that?
Yes, I do. I do.
And this is not meant to be like, this is all your fucking fault. It's meant to be, this is a really complex feeling that you have in the game of this feels really hard. And I'm trying to give you a glimpse into how you simplify this, which is what hero on my team and am I allowed to be aggressive or not? It's a pretty in-depth concept, but it's these moments that lose you the game. Like I would guess, like I can't say for sure, it's never always accurate, but I would guess around 20 minutes the game goes rough. Yeah, it's like so like just
I hate when you're so accurate.
Yeah, it's weird how often you can look at one play, and that's why when people lose to Smurfs, like when I play my educational Smurf games, I die in lane. Like, you know, I play against like 5Ks, even sometimes against 2Ks, I'll die in lane. But it's this type of mistake that the other carry will make, and I won't, and I win the game. Like, but this required, like, it's hard not to make these mistakes, and your games will be a bit unpredictable because both carries are going to make it. But it's these individual moments where you probably mess it up 5 to 10 times a game. Like, it just is what it is. It's an individual moment where you could have advanced aggressively on the map, taken another creep wave, run through their jungle, and instead you backed up. Or vice versa, you went for a tower by yourself with all of the enemy heroes missing. That's the opposite. None of your teammates are near you, and none of the enemy is showing, and you're hitting a tower. That's the opposite, right? Like, that's the opposite of what I said, where it's like one gives you the sign to be aggressive, the other one tells you to be cautious. So far, I've seen 2 crucial moments where you missed one chance to be aggressive, and one time you were being overly aggressive. The point is, a lot of the game, you're doing good things. But, like, I want to show you that this awful feeling is going to get punished a lot in bad matchups. Like, you're in bad matchups. They have a lot of split push. They have a lot of mobility. Your plays are limited. So this game is hard. And in hard games, when you have, like, these, what seemingly small things, when you do it 3 to 5 times, it fucks you. Like, you actually lose the game. And I'm trying to show you this is how you win the game. But it's hard.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, and it's meant to be, yes, hard, but also doable. It is doable. Yeah, co-op's fucking annoying as shit. So, when you don't feel strong to fight them, the last place you want to be is mid lane. Basically, mid lane is like you and a guy taking a, like you guys walking up to each other on the street, looking each other in the eye, looking at each other in the eyes and say, we're going to take an honest man-to-man fist fight right here, right now. And I think I'm going to win. Like, that's what you doing in the mid lane is. So if you think you're ultra strong, they walk at you, fists ready, and you're like, I'll fuck you up, then you should be here. Otherwise, don't be in the mid lane.
I just see a lot of, like, my teammates here, and I don't see any teammates yet of the opponent team. So I thought, why not?
Okay, so you see 4 enemy heroes here, and you have a Battle Fury, so I'm going this way. Down here. What's wrong with going down here?
No, I mean the other way around. Like, I see 4 ally heroes. So, like, I see Phoenix, I see with the okay. Maybe I misinterpreted this. Yes. Okay.
What I see is 1,400 gold from a Battle Fury. Or sorry, BKB.
BKB, yes.
And I see a path to farm away from the opponent. Because I see where they are. And you choose to stay where you are. And fight the opponent. So, like, for me, I'm 1,400 gold from a timing. I see all of their heroes in this area. I do this. Very simple. And when you don't do it, you miss opportunities or you end up in fights you don't want to be in. That's when you...
Help me understand this. So, like, from my perspective, like, the way I see the map, the fight is inevitable here. The fight will happen, whether I will walk away or whether I will stay.
Sure.
Like I think that like if I stay, I might increase the chance to win the fight. I don't know. And if I walk away, the fight definitely will be lost. So you're saying is that like my BKB is more important.
I'm
Then,
saying to you that I look at my items, my hero. Who fucking cares about the other 9? I look at my hero and say, am I useful in fights? Do I feel strong in fights? If the answer is no, then I don't go to them, period. I don't care about the other 9 heroes in the game.
I'm not strong, but like it's not that I like if I press everything correctly, it's not that I will die. Like if I jump once and like press ulti.
My point that I would say is that if I'm working on a timing and I see enemy heroes, I will go the opposite direction.
Okay.
For me, I understand there's more to it than this, but what I've had to try to not convince, what I've tried to teach people that I'm coaching is that there's no fight you have to go to. Watch my Smurf games. Watch how often I just ignore them. Watch an actual Smurf playing in your bracket. They just ignore the fuck out of their teammates. And I'm not telling you to ignore your teammates. It's that what Smurfs do that you don't is play their own game. They know when it's good for them to fight. They know when it's bad for them to fight. Like, I know you're still learning this stuff. Like, you're not expected to have the game knowledge due to limited experience. But it doesn't matter what the probability of the fight happening is. It's, am I strong and would I like to have to be in this fight? So, like, for me, if I have a TP on me and I walk away from this fight, then if this fight breaks out here, I can choose to TP if it looks really good. But because I don't have BKB, it has to look, like, really good for me to fight. So, like, someone that's, like, 1,500 MMR like yourself, for me, I would keep it straightforward. I get an item, I force a fight. Like, I not force, but, like, you look for an opportunity. You got the one with Legion where you killed the Beastmaster bottom. Then, when you're in Blink Battle Fury mode, this is how Ursa works, you are still in farm mode, but you're willing to participate in skirmishes, where, like, if Legion's walking through the enemy jungle down here, and you're right here, you're willing to, like, look to kill somebody down here. Like, that's the mode you're in currently when you have Blink Battle Fury. And then when you get BKB, generally speaking, that means you're more willing to not only play the map, but also participate in fights willingly. Like 5-on-5s or 4v4s or whatever. So, like, with carries, that's oftentimes how they play, is the first item means they play the map for farming. The second item means that they can usually connect to people while they're farming. And the third item means they can fight. Most carries follow this formula. Most of them. And there is nuance to it. But what I'm saying is you will gain a lot more MMR hitting timings properly than you will trying to fight with your team 1,000 gold from BKB. And there are times where you are 1,000 gold from BKB where you are supposed to fight. But that's very few compared to the amount of times where you're supposed to have waited. And so, like, I would rather see you be like, simplify your game a bit, where I buy Battle Fury, I farm the map. And my job is to farm as aggressively as I can without dying. That's your job while you have a Battle Fury. Then when you get Blink, I continue doing that job while looking for potential pickoffs opportunity-wise. And maybe I'll show up to a team fight late. You know, maybe a fight breaks out near one of my towers and I clean up people. And then once you get BKB, you can be at a fight from the very beginning, where you know the fight's going to break out and you purposely put yourself there at the very start. That's like, if you were to go off those guidelines, you would 100% gain MMR. Because that is correct about 95% of situations, I would say. So, like, you're willingly staying for a fight, which is not the mode you're in right now, which is what I'm trying to say. Does that land? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. Yes. Still, I like this particular moment. I find really hard because like I do still have creeps. You know, like I'm literally hitting them.
Yeah, hit the
It's not
creeps and then
that
go down. Yeah, exactly. Now just go down.
Yeah.
You did it. You clear the creeps, now go down. Yep.
Yeah, I lingered. Yes.
Hey, you're forcing a fight without BKB. So you end up working your way bottom eventually, which is good. What I'm trying to show you from all of this, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, What I try to tell people is, as long as you are consciously choosing to walk towards fights or walk away from them, then you will learn over time. For me, that was a clear time to walk away from a fight. If you think it's the correct time to fight based on your experience in your games and you're like, I should be fighting with my team 100% of the time here, then by all means stay. But what I'll do in these coaching sessions is tell you, this is a time where I would have walked forward. Here's why. Here's a time I would have walked away from them. Here's why. And it's up to you to what to do with that. Like, sometimes it may not apply to you directly, right? Like, I don't want to act like I'm just telling you the correct things. But what I'm telling you is that the decision of my team's going to fight, so that means I should be there, that's a bleh, bleh. Do not do that. Fuck that. But if you're telling me I want to fight right now, so I'm staying, we can discuss it, right? But it has nothing to do with the likelihood of a fight breaking out. It's just, do you want to fight? That's like the question. And the problem that happens is, you know, people will get, like, for me, this is a perfect example. Like, see all the heroes dying mid right now? Like, you know all the enemies are mid, and there's a creep wave bottom to be farmed, and you're ignoring it, even though they're all here. So you retreated on the map towards them, and you die.
Yes. Yeah, that's just a bad sense of danger. Yeah, because obviously I thought that it's more dangerous on that creep wave than on a creep wave under my tier 2, but it was the other way around.
I have a Mythbusters video I can link you if you would like it.
Yeah. I know. I watched that one. It's just like I still haven't rewired myself.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I have like a bright moments when I know that I should go forward, not backward. But it's not
I got you.
wired yet.
Yeah, these are the moments that lose you a lot of map control, and so as long as you're aware that you have the right sense to be afraid, like you're like, oh shit, I should be cautious. Like you have the right sense there. That's good. Now we need to like tap into what it means to be, like you said, rewired. What do we do with that feeling now? You know, I feel nervous on the map. Like the map's gonna close in on us. They're scaring me. They feel stronger than us. And most people, that's why I made the video, retreat to their towers. And I need you to move away from where you see them, right? So that's like where we want it to be rewired. And it's good that you already know it.
Would it be correct here? Like walk to this bottom.
I would have been here. If they keep going, then I would go for the next wave.
Would they go to the gate? Would they go to the gate and then like clean another?
Yeah, I would do this probably.
Okay.
And against heroes like Slark and Quap, meaning like super hyper mobile heroes on the map, I would show on the creep wave here and then kill the next one probably, but then I don't show on creep waves anymore. Like I would just play off map, basically, until my team is respawning. So we are about nearing time, maybe like 5 more minutes. What would you like me to do? I know I've only gotten through 25 minutes of the game. I mean, I do see that the game goes for a while, but it's also like really hard from here on out. It looks like there's like a stage at 28 minutes. Would you like me to fast forward to that, or what would you like for?
Oh, I think we're good. Like I think I understood a lot of things. The one thing I wanted to ask you about is that like previously, like when we discussed the other replay, you like taught me about the concept that I shouldn't walk to the team or to the fights where I can TP to, and here like you tell me that this my condition to fight is like Legion duel somebody and then I blink in.
Yeah.
Like these two concepts a little bit how to say it, like contradict each other, like at least in my head. Because if a legion duels somebody, obviously there is no time for me already to TP here, like whatever. So I need to be like nearby the legion all the time.
I'll make sure. I'm going to make sure I clarify what I said to you because I understand. I think I understand your like. There's just been a misinterpretation of what I said. Like we just need to communicate. I said that your kill condition is Legion. So you're in Battle Fury Blink, play the map, kill people mode. Your condition is Legion. Fight conditions are completely different. So I might have said fight condition, so I'm clarifying what I meant.
Okay.
Your condition for playing the map is Legion Commander. Your condition for fights can still be Legion Commander dueling somebody, but if it griefs you to be there ahead of time, then you shouldn't be there. That's like how I would look at that situation. So oftentimes, if you aren't at BKB yet, I just wouldn't be with my team in general. Like that's so like then I'm just not fighting. So I'm still only looking for pickoffs. So when it comes to team fights, it is literally like, oh, the fight's already broken out. Like, let's ignore Legion Commander. The fight's already broken out, and it looks like I can go. You know? That's like how I look at it. So it's going to be a little more intuitive there, meaning like instinct, rather than a specific formula for when you show up to that fight. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think I got it now.
I see how it sounded, but it's definitely not contradictory in my head. Like it's like these are proactive fights that you're forcing, which is usually only with timings, like you just finished a big item, versus like opportunities on the map, basically. So like if you have your BKB and you're looking to force a fight, ideally in a game like this, you would jump Legion's target, probably. But at the same time, if she duels Quap or in the front or something, you might just jump the Lion or the Lich. Like you could jump somebody else. So your condition is still her going first, but what you do with it might be different. You might go on the same target. You might go on a different target. That's the only question in there. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yes, it does. Yes.
Cool. Any other thoughts or questions you have from all this?
Oh, I think I'm good.
Yeah, sweet, man. I mean, I think the most important takeaway, you might have already gotten it, but I just want to drive it home, is that these games that feel really awful, it's all in those moments where you advance and retreat improperly. And if you're in a game with bad matchups, 2 or 3 mistakes, fuck you. Like, really hard. So it's just know that it's those moments where you lose track of whether or not you're supposed to retreat or advance. And also know that you've got a lot of buttons to press. You've got a lot to think about. So it's okay to make these mistakes. It's just important to know, like, these are the mistakes that are costing you. So even when the game feels really hard, if we can get you to mentally refocus back to what are my conditions for advancing, what are my conditions for backing, and over time you'll get better at it. That's all we can promise, right? Over time you'll get better at it. So
I actually enjoy the most these types of games. I don't know why, but like I think these are the most interesting ones.
I personally like. I guess for me, some people talk negatively of like, fuck, man, if I make 3 mistakes, we lose. But like for me, I love this shit. I'm like on the edge of my seat the whole game. Like you're in like a fucking horror game or something. I love this too. Yes. For sure, man. You said it earlier. I think you like the challenge, so I dig it. Cool, man. Then we'll wrap it up there.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing that he said about like making his team more likely to win the fight by being there, my counter argument to that is literally always true. If I have 5 heroes instead of 4, my team is more likely to win a fight. So if that ends up being your reasoning, then you should be at every fight ever. So I would hope that that's like enough point to show like that's not adequate reasoning. Because then you would just inevitably conclude to be at literally every fight. Which is not correct. I think any player would agree that you're not supposed to be at every fight on every hero. Right? Would you sack a Rax or 2 in order to hit your timing if it came to that? I mean, I'm only going to defend the Rax if I think I can do something about it. It's not a matter of would I sack it in order to hit a timing. It's just anytime I'm in the game and I see something happening, like the opponent taking objective, the main question I have to ask myself is there anything I think I can do about that? A lot of people go with, they're taking my Rax, I have to do something about it. The more important question is, what can I do about it? So it's not that, are you asking me would I sacrifice my racks to hit a timing? It's more like, would I sacrifice my racks if I can't do anything about it? Yeah, of course. Would love to see more 4 or 5 coaching sessions. I mean, I am a carry player, so the majority of my students end up being carry players. Like they, my nuanced understanding of hero matchups and stuff is much higher on carry. I'm always happy to coach supports, though. I recently played 4 and creep cut into a jug. It was night and day difference on how much my offlaner didn't have his lane ruined from our coaching session. Fuck yeah, Cap J, let's go. Thanks for the 45 months. Yeah, the problem with your teammates saying if you were here, we would have won or the fight would have gone better. It's like, that's always true. Like that is like the most non-statement ever. But like, that's not how Dota works, right? Like, it's just not how it works. You are totally right. I would love to also talk. I think the most important thing about playing Dota is not telling other people what to do. There's a big difference between telling other people what to do versus communicating what you want to do. So, like, rather than saying, hey, Ursa, go hit Roche, it's like, hey, I want to take Roche. Ursa, can you come with me? It's a very different thing to say. One of them is you bossing them around. The other one is you making a call and them having a chance to make a decision. And, in the long term, I would love to aspire myself to be as good as I claim, like not claim, as good as I know I could be at communication. But for me, the obvious root of all of these problems is people telling other people what to do. For me, that's the root of all of these problems. And that's obviously an opinion. If before the fight breaks out, you usually say, I want to fight with BKB, I won't TP unless they dive. Saying stuff like that is very helpful. Saying stuff like that is very helpful. How many ignored calls does it take before you break your items? There's no amount of ignored calls. There's nothing wrong with ignoring my calls. It can be frustrating. But I've talked about this in my classes before. It's the whole distinction between a request and a demand. So the first question I would ask you is, are teammates more likely to respond positively to requests or to demands? That's the first question. I think the majority of people, if not all, would say requests. Are you more likely to respond to a request or a demand? Then the second question is, what makes something a request versus demand? What is the difference, right? So there's 2 things that make something a request compared to a demand. The first thing is the way you ask it. So, hey, Ursa, go hit Roche. Versus like, hey, Ursa, can we go Roche? I think in that case, it's very obvious which one's a request and which one's a demand, right? Secondly, the other caveat for what decides if something's a request or a demand is what you do when the person says no. So if I go, hey, Ursa, can you come hit Roche? And he doesn't do it. And I say, fucking Ursa, get over here. Was my initial statement a request or a demand? That makes that a demand disguised as a kind request, which is even more nefarious than yelling at them in the first place. So, based on how many ignored calls do I need in order to break my items, that would make me be making demands, which I may do sometimes, but I don't want to be doing. So, I'm not a perfect communicator. But, yeah, that'd be my response to that. I feel a really good Dota player knows when the Ursa wants to take Roche based on timings. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is, if you're a good player, you'll have a better understanding of when to say things. You know? Like, you'll be more accurate with your calls, for sure. But the worst thing you can do, no matter how good you are at the game, is act like you know everything and act like you know we're supposed to be roshing right now and Ursa's just fucking garbage. If you just listen to me, we'd win the game. Like, if you're sounding like that, then, like, you know, you're you're the problem. You know? So yeah. What is the best way to increase my behavior score? I mean, I'm not going to act like I know what it's like to play in suboptimal behavior scores. But for me, you know, I always go off of the Gutman rule, which talks about in healthy relationships. It is talking about romantically, but I believe it applies to everything. Is that for every negative interaction you have to have 19 positive ones for a relationship to be positive. I think it's 19. Might be 20. So what that means to me is in line with what I've learned in psychology, which is that humans respond far more to negative stimuli than they do to positive stimuli. So my focus for increasing my behavior score would be to think about 1 or 2 positive ways that I can communicate in the game. Maybe if I'm playing Ursa, I'll communicate to my 5, hey, like, let's try to play for pulls and keep it chill, or like, let's look to kill them at level 3, just like something like that. And then I would look to like make a Roche call. And then I would say literally nothing else the rest of the game. Like, that's what I would do. Because the most important thing is that I communicate a little bit, but that I don't say stupid shit. Or not stupid shit, but like that I do shit that makes people have a negative experience with me. And then over time, you can slowly but surely increase the amount of things that you're communicating about. That would be my recommendation. But, you know, I'm not going to act like it would work. Cinderin with the raid. I love crits calls. They're always like 3 words, cold-blooded with 0 emotions. I mean, the thing about somebody like Crit, and I think the problem that people have, is you achieve what he does not by having no emotions. You do it by having emotional awareness. Like, you achieve it by having the emotion and then not letting it dictate how you make the call. I think the majority of people think I'm just not supposed to have emotions when I make calls. But it's more like, no, you're supposed to have emotional awareness so that when you're stressed out and frustrated in the game, you quickly refocus you recenter your focus and then you make a call rather than making a call out of frustration. So, but yeah, we have a class coming up, a little bit of Q&A. Yeah, the problem with Dota, I mean, God, I could talk about this for so long. The problem with behavior score system is I read a book that really changed my perspective on a lot of things, and it's called Punished by Rewards, which half of the book is talking about how giving people rewards can really backfire, but another half of the book is talking about how punishing people is not like a good way to correct their behavior. And I really do believe that. In the vast majority of cases, punishing people just makes things worse. So for me, it's like in Dota, like when you have a bunch of people that are effectively getting punished for their bad behavior through like a number that goes down and no direct feedback of what they're doing wrong, all that's going to make them is really salty and really frustrated and pissed, and they're just going to get mad at each other, and they're going to take it out on the people around them because who else are they going to take it out on? So then you just have a bunch of people who don't know how to communicate because that's how they got there in the first place, all super pissed and frustrated and on edge, and then you put them all in the same game. It's like, yikes. Sometimes people just die, and then you die 10 seconds later, and they say, report this guy. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really easy for you to fixate on all the times that you get reported unjustifiably, but then we have to also remember that there are players who don't get reported as much as you do. So I would look to more so fixate on, I wish there was a way to see the reports you get that are avoidable. Because I guarantee you they exist. But I understand that not every report is justifiable nor fair. But I think if you're struggling with behavior score, fixating on all the reports that you can't do anything about is making it worse. In my opinion. What would you recommend doing when I'm playing Ricky or any pickoff hero and the enemy just groups up constantly? Probably go for like Ags and shit and split push the map. Actually, Ags Ricky's probably pretty bad nowadays, right? But I just split push the map. Let my team know to separate on the map and look for pickoffs. I prefer to just not play heroes like Ricky, especially carry, because you can't do anything about those type of games. I really hate those type of games. Like, it feels really bad to be in those games, so I don't purposely put myself in them. Or I purposely pick to not put myself in them. Sometimes it's unavoidable, of course. But if people say to report me for dying, I always just respond with report hero for smurfing. It helps change the perspective of I'm bad to, oh, they are good. I mean, honestly, doing something that, like, lightheartedly diffuses the situation. You know, like, report this person for dying. And, like, I'm sure even saying something like, yeah, guys, report me for dying, I'm trash. Like, I'm sure even something like that's kind of funny. Like, for sure, responding to it with, like, a casual joke is probably pretty good. The not expecting a response has helped me be less toxic. I just have to tell myself it's okay if we lose. It's the feedback that lesson that I got from, or that I gave, not the lesson I gave you, but that point that I talked to you about, Cap J, that actually came directly from Dr. K. I had a really nice conversation with him like 3 months ago. And he said that all of the toxicity, all of the exhaustion comes from the expectation of a response. And he gave me more depth than that, of course, but it like opened my eyes. I was like, holy shit. It is the expectation of a response. He really opened my eyes on that one. Yeah, shout out to Dr. K. Yeah, dude, Dr. K reached out to me on Friday. This was, like what, 3 days ago? And he gave me some YouTube advice. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I got some YouTube advice from Dr. K. It's sick. I literally, it was really funny about that was that I would consider Dr. K and I friends, and I was literally at a point where I was considering reaching out to him about YouTube because I had some questions, because he's obviously very successful on YouTube, and I think I have like a shit ton to learn from somebody like that. And I was just like, I literally, like, I think about a week ago, I had the thought of I should reach out to Dr. K about YouTube. And then 3 days later, he messaged me offering me some YouTube feedback, and I just thought that was like I just think the universe is funny sometimes, Someone questioned me buying a ring of protection as Omni Knight. I said, I am a man of God. Do not question my ways. True. Can you share some of those YouTube learnings? I mean, a lot of it was him asking me questions like, how would you describe your audience? And kind of giving me a reminder of like, how would you describe what people watch you for? Like, what makes you worth watching? And he gave me some like really useful reminders on that. And he gave me some pointers about the way that I should structure my intros, because I've been more like cookie cutter and methodical about the intros, and it definitely became a bit too robotic, and I knew that. So he gave me some feedback on that as well. Who is your audience? I said my audience is Dota players who really love nerding out about the game and want more in-depth analysis of like the intricacies of the game, and that like thinking about the thought process of the game. That's how I described my audience. I also said bald virgins. No, I'm kidding. Wow. True. I gotta start the classes. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'll share my screen. For Twitch chat and YouTube chat, I'm going to be mainly looking at my coaching chat now, or my class chat. We'll go ahead and start loading up some replays. Only a few people here right now. Clipsing, you're up first.
Hello.
Yo, how's it going?
Good.
Okay, so we're looking at your laning rotations, laning stage and early rotations.
Yep.
You gave me some details about your twin gate rotation, so we'll just kind of see how that plays out.
You're a beautiful person with a charming personality.
I think most of what you're doing so far is very reasonable. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. I think you're doing that honestly very clean so far. Obviously that sucked a little bit pulling that aggro, but okay. Let's see. I probably would have gone a second point in my dual breath just to fight this lane, because you guys are fighting a lot, but You play more Jakiro than me, I think, so I can understand why you'd want to point an ice path. You definitely had to be in this lane the whole time. Anti-mage needed your help. I think your instinct to go to the gate here is perfectly fine. I'd argue it's even a
Yeah, I
tad.
just was not expecting the Nature's Prophet ult kind of owned us here. And Phoenix used dive aggressively, which was kind of unfortunate.
Honestly, I like the idea of what you did. Undying Drow is a pretty scary lane, so that's a lane that I would argue if this was a different 5 and a different mid, that would have probably worked. So this is probably like just hyper specific to this game, I would say. I don't mind the rotation at all, though. I think you're better off making a rotation like that the way you did every time and then learning exact... like, I think if you made that rotation 100 times, it would gain you MMR, even if it worked out this time negatively.
Yeah.
That's my thought on that rotation.
Yeah, so there was a fight around 720. I didn't end up going, but I maybe could have gone. There was just a lot of stuff going on top. Yeah, I felt like I had to babysit AM the whole time, so kind of just sat.
So for me,
lane
this is a
for
very
most of it.
classic. You're against, it's 7 minutes almost, and you're against global heroes. So, meaning like they can play Wisdom Shrines and fights can happen at any point. So I honestly think your big mistake is to TP here when you did. I would just walk top. This is a very important moment for me where you need to be able to be at 2 places at once. That's the only way I can describe this situation. You see what I mean? Like when I think about the
So, like,
the
yeah,
macro
so
sense
like
of the
if
game.
Prophet tries to steal the wisdom, then I need to be able to TP to fight for that.
Yeah, so you had the feeling that you need to be with Anti-Mage, but the part that you missed, I think, is you need to also be able to be somewhere else. So that means we walk. To the guy that we
Okay.
think needs us right now, prepared to respond to the other thing. So I think you're on the right track that you could have been at the fight bottom, and this is just a scenario where you had to walk top, being ready to TP bottom. But once you TP top, that's like off the table. To be bottom. So the biggest thing about this sort of thing is that in theory, it's better for Anti-Mage if you go there right away, right? Like you're helping him more, technically, right?
Yeah.
The most important thing about all this that I try to emphasize to everybody, no matter what role you're playing, is that number one is you, always. What are your needs, right? Like, what does your hero need in the game? So what you need as a support is to trust the awareness that I need to be multiple places at once, thus I must walk somewhere. And so even if it hurts my anti-mage a little bit, I am maximizing my impact by walking there. That's just, that for me is the healthiest way to look at it. And maybe if they end up diving anti-mage in the time that you're walking, you end up TPing in, but it would have to be very specific, right? Like, you'd have to see, like, a lot of information to do that.
Yeah, so I did have a question about that last minute starting around 8:10. I felt like I didn't really do much. Like I basically, after they contested that poll, so we didn't have a small camp, right? And then the fight bottom already ended. And then I just felt like I basically did nothing this whole minute except like put a ward by their top tower. And actually that's about it.
Yeah, I'm curious
looking
what's
back on
stopping
it-
you from, like, walking gate again.
Yeah, so I thought about that when I watched the replay. I felt like, you know, because there just was an engagement bottom and like Phoenix used ult and everything, so I felt like, you know, and like Willow is low on health and mana and all that, so like I felt like my teammates were kind of low resources, and so we wouldn't really accomplish much, I guess. I don't know if that thinking is correct.
So yeah, I'm curious, of everything you just said, I'm curious why you are a Jakiro, meaning you're a hero that pushes towers, and you see the Ember for the last minute. Look at where he's been playing. Right, 40 seconds or so. Right here. Look at where he is. Like, he's
Yeah,
up in this
so
guy's
that
fucking
is
face, right?
Mhm.
I would have just walked mid here, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that is something I was wondering, like if I should have played with Ember more. I think he had a really good game as well, so he was quite far ahead of their mid.
I think your instinct to walk forward and place this ward, then the question is why walk back? Like, just, we need to know what's going through your head that you walk back.
Yeah, I guess I thought like I maybe just needed to babysit AM more, would go for the next pull or something. I guess I didn't go mid because I thought like, oh, it's not an even minute, so there's no rune or anything. So I don't
Okay,
know.
so you have the gut sense that you need to help your anti-mage, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. Either you or anyone else, can we connect the dots here between this and the 630 decision? So what's the common denominator? What is the description of this situation? You need to be in
You
two
mean
different...
like being able to fight or like being able to be there if
You
something
need,
happens?
you feel like there's two different things you need to do. Right? That's like,
Okay.
that's the description, right? I could have been
Yeah.
at this fight bottom, but I needed to help anti-mage. I could have been pushing mid, but I need to help anti-mage. So walk to the one that you'd rather do if nothing happens.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Because like if something happens top, then I can TP there. Is
Yeah.
that the thinking?
Yeah. So
I see.
you walk towards mid and you're ready to TP top. And the other one, you walk towards top, and if something happens, you TP bottom. But if you walk bottom, then it's like you're only there in case something happens. Does that make sense? But then it's like, well, what if nothing happens? This is just fucking awkward as shit. We have 3 heroes here. Guarding a rune that's not getting invaded. That's like kind of awkward. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, that situation you described. So when was that?
That's the 630.
Oh, okay, I see.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
walk here, you walk here. That's what I'm saying. You walk to the place assuming nothing happens.
Okay, yeah, and then be able to TP to the other place if something happens.
Exactly. So at 9 minutes in the game, very rarely are we ever babysitting a carry, but we might have the feeling that we need to stay near our carry or be ready to help our carry. In that case, you walk somewhere else, ready to TP back to your carry.
Okay.
Does that
So
make
at
sense?
8 minutes, like the best thing to do would just be to walk toward mid, play with Ember more, and then just have that TP up if something happens top.
The most important thing about all of this is that you have a gut feeling anti-mage needs your help. But the correct solution past like 7 minutes is not to just sit here. So you can do anything else you want. It's just important you hold a TP. If you have that feeling of, I need to be able to help my anti-mage. So like in this exact example, I would have walked mid. But I'm just saying the takeaway is I feel like my carry needs my help, but it's not typically good as support to sit here at 8 minutes. So I will walk away. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. I guess I was also kind of thinking like, since they had Prophet mid, like he wasn't really in the lane that much at this point, and so I kind of felt like, well, since he's not there, like we're not gonna kill him mid. But I guess I wasn't thinking that we can still just pressure the tower and stuff.
Your hero's not a kill hero, man. Your hero just hits buildings.
Yeah.
Everything your hero is just walking and creating pressure on a building. That's like all your hero is. So the hero not being there should literally be a positive.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I should think more about where I can like throw liquid fire on towers.
Yeah, like think about where do they least want to be, actually. They least want to be on top of the global hero. I know Dawn eventually turns into a global hero, but like right now, the one place they don't want to react to is like they want Nature's Prophet to react to side lanes rather than side lanes reacting to Nature's Prophet lane.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Nature's Prophet, very specific, but It applies to IO, Nature's Prophet, all that
Okay.
stuff.
Okay, cool. And then yeah, the last thing I wanted to look at was around 11:15. Like just wanted to see whether you thought it was a good call to defend top, or not really defend because we lost tower anyway, but like to fight top, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you have Macro Pyre coming up. You have Phoenix, Egg, yeah. Ember Strong. Yeah, looks good. You got all your abilities. You said Ember was having a good game. Makes sense to me. You guys set up on it. Looked pretty good. I liked it. I think if
Okay.
like Ember for some reason couldn't be there, I wouldn't have liked it. But since he rotated, I think it's good. Sound good?
Okay. Yep.
Sweet,
Cool.
man.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll boot you. Disruptor got to stage 2. Indeed, indeed. Is Rinku here? Rinku's not here, but we'll review his game real quick. That's really funny. I've been coaching Immortal in the coaching sessions about specifically Tiny Carry between like 9 to 15 minutes, and Rinku's question is about Carry Tiny from 12 to 15 minutes. Is it gonna show up? I guess I'm gonna reload Dota. Sometimes it's like a buggy issue. For the record, guys, I will be at Dream League starting next Monday, so the next couple Monday submission classes I will not be happening. Oh, there's a coordinator issue. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Stream can see Dota, right? Yeah. I'm recording this, right? Nice, I am. Yeah. Okay, I have a story about this. Class will go a little over or whatever today. So Andre's comment was, I liked you saying in a recent coaching session that you had heroes that you didn't like, and some years later you started liking. And I'm wondering if I should try Tiny Carry again. I actually had a really interesting moment this weekend. So I've had a really hit or miss relationship with bouldering. And basically for the longest time, I really didn't like bouldering. And like I liked it, but it was like a conflicting feeling. It's like I should like this, but I don't like it. But it's like there's a lot of things about bouldering that I think are fun. Like I like the puzzle aspect of it. If you've never really bouldered, you have to like think of creative ways to like climb up a wall. Every wall is like kind of like a puzzle of itself. And I always kind of had this feeling of, why do I not like bouldering? And so I decided to try bouldering for the first time in like a year. On Saturday, I went with a friend, and literally how you described like not really liking a hero and then looping back and trying it again, like that was the feeling I had when I went bouldering. And what I literally realized was in the last year, I've worked immensely on my fear of failure. That's number one. And I've also worked immensely on letting myself feel shitty emotions. Or not pleasant emotions. So in the past, I have a fear of heights, for the record. I have a fear of heights. I hate heights. I'm terrified of heights. Whenever I would go on bouldering walls, I would be terrified of heights. And I know that my internal monologue was something along the lines of, stop being afraid, you pussy. Something along those lines. And what I've learned in the last year was, all I have to do is be like, okay, man, you're afraid. That sucks, but you're afraid. It's fine. Let yourself feel the fear. You're afraid. And so I went up on the wall, let myself be like, I'm afraid. Whatever. And bouldering was so fucking fun. And so in the past, I was crippled by fear while also being ashamed that I was afraid in the first place. And then I was also terrified of being a failure whenever I fell. And the second that I just realized, I'm like, oh, I can just accept that I'm afraid. And if I fuck up, it's whatever. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun now. When I tried hard bouldering, I put myself in fear and let me fall like shit to feel good. Dude, yeah, I don't know. Like, once I felt fear and just like let myself feel it, I was like, holy shit, this is actually so fun. So yeah, that was my thought about that. If there's some hero or something that you've like didn't like for a long time, you know, always try revisiting it. So Rinku's specific problem was minute 12 to 15. We're gonna fast forward here. I think he's about 5k. So in this type of example, you know, the question I have is, okay, wait, so Monkey King came bottom. That's what happened here. Oh no, Monkey King's mid again. So in this case, I think it's really important as carry to remain incredibly sticky to your lane. Incredibly important. Like, you can definitely get XP here. You're full HP. So get XP for these creeps. Make them go on you. You have 1700 health. So instead of giving this tower up for free right here, we need you to be at this creep wave defended by your tower with 1700 HP. It's really important that you're not just ditching like this. Because now when you're ditching like this, Monkey King's ganking top and you're losing a tower. Like, you'd rather Monkey King killing you with 3 heroes and then them dying top, but instead it's like they're winning both lanes now. That's why it's ultra important that you stick to your lane. I think you hard overly retreated here. So, like, even if you were afraid of Monkey King rotating because he came bottom initially, I understand that part. But the second you see Monkey King top like this, I need you to walk back bottom again. It's really important. We can't just let this happen. This is really game losing. This is really game losing. You actually lost like 2/3 of your HP to like jungle camps. Maybe it's like plus techies, but yeah. Basically, what I've tried to tell all of you carry players is stick to your lane harder. You're giving up too easily. Yeah, would you look at that? Yeah, we got a good playoff there. Oh, crazy. How did this start? You played your lane. Crazy. It's fucking nuts, actually. Okay, so this is really awkward as shit. So, let's look at the map. We don't really want to be here anymore, most likely. We're like half HP, but we could maybe stay. What are our options? Grow's taking top tower. That's not ideal. Probably not much we can do about it. But, like, if we rewind a bit here. Like, Bristleback came bottom to help you. Whenever that happens, we know the other maps, the other lanes are going to be under duress. So, it is important here that, I guess you don't have a TP yet. It's on your courier right now, so you get your TP. It's like, okay, do we want the TP here? This actually looks TPable. The tower is 2/3 HP. The creep wave's pretty much dead. Yeah, we're half HP, but it's just a drow. So, like, right now, it's, like, actually really important that we TP top right now, right? I would TP into the trees right here with the intent to defend this tower. But now we're kind of just chilling, dicking around. TP late. Better late than never. I mean, you're still pretty good at MMR, so it's like, the point is, when you guys make the right plays and you're slow about it, it's usually your MMR. Like, you know, I said how fast I would do it. Now we're just seeing how fast you do it. You have like good mindset, but it's a little bit slow. So it's good that we ended up here, meaning like I would have done the same thing. You're kind of in like this defensive posture now. So what's really important in these type of games is because the map is closing on us, that we need to be farming, but able to help our team. So I actually think it's really important that you go back to base and get HP. Because we need to be able to respond to stuff that's happening in the game. If you feel like you can respond with the current HP you have, then go ahead, that's fine. But like, I would have given myself full HP. I would also probably take HP regen over health on Tiny. I'd probably take health as the last one I would take. I don't think you need health on Tiny. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's the not sticking to your lane at 8 minutes, plus taking too long to TP here, but I think what you did is correct. I want you to see the benefit of what happened when you stuck to your lane, but then what happens is when you stick to your lane and your teammates come help you, that needs to trigger this, oh, the other lanes are going to be under duress. I need to immediately consider what other lanes I can go help. So it's like, it registered to you, but it needs to register the second that this fight is happening. So, like, it's clearly there, but we just need to speed it up a little bit. Overall, it obviously, there's a lot of pressure on you guys on the map. But it actually started with you abandoning the lane at 8 minutes. You definitely could have been more creative about staying in lane. What I'm trying to say... You ask, is it better for him to stay in lane even if they kill him? For me, this is cut and dry. Let me know what about... And I'm not trying to be offensive. Like, there's a simple reason that him leaving lane is bad. This is what I want you to think. He's leaving lane because Monkey King is potentially scary, right? He sees Monkey King. Monkey King's mid now. He's like he's like getting booted out of lane. Monkey King literally just showed mid, right? He should not be afraid of just Centaur techies. If he's afraid of just Centaur techies with full HP on Tiny, then he's just misgauging the matchup. And that's fine. But like, for me, that's just a misgauge. He should not be afraid of just these two heroes. Secondly, if he's afraid of Monkey King ganking him, what happens here when you look at the map, like look at what's happening top. If Monkey King's ganking bottom, then he will die, right? On Tiny, which it is what it is. But if Monkey King's ganking top, like we're talking about him staying in lane. But if Monkey King's ganking top, then he will be perfectly fine bottom, and Monkey King will kill top. But by leaving lane, if Monkey King ganks top, then the entire map is gone. Like, literally everything's gone. Because top lane's dead, and bottom lane tower is dying. And that is so catastrophic, you cannot leave. For me, that's the cut and dry. Like, that iteration of the game is so catastrophic. Okay, great. So, it's more like when you see these moves that your minor decisions you make, your micro decisions, I want you to see that if there's a permutation where you just lose the map instantly, then that play cannot be made. You cannot give the opponent a 50-50 gank that wins them the entire map, basically. You would rather that 50-50 gank come to your lane and potentially you die with your teammate helping you or whatever. Because, like, that's what happened. Like, we literally saw it later. Like, they dove him and his team helped him and they got kills. Like, that can happen. It's not like he's just going to die. Also, the skill build was bad. He went max toss, but that's... I mean, as far as I understand, it's bad. I don't think I've seen people do that. Okay, Sovereign. So what exactly is your question? Is absolutely cooked? Or are there thoughts to make it work? I mean, Monkey King offlane can work. It's not traditional for sure. I mean, Monkey King's power spikes are incredibly awkward. Oops, I tried to invite you to speak, but then you came up the second I did that, and you...
I might have accidentally hit the X. Yeah, it's that awkward transition from like stomping the lane to what prompted it was like I have my like beefy offlaners, like I play Tide, I play Bristle, I play Razor. I'm comfortable on them, but I want to start playing more of like the roaming killers like Legion, and Monkey seemed to fit that bill. He's really strong in lane, but yeah, there's just this like awkward transition period from lane to the mid game where I'm struggling with like what to do.
Yeah, so I would just say Legion and Monkey are similar, and Legion's like a conceptual difficulty of a 2, and Monkey King's about a 9. So that's my perspective on that. I'm not telling you not to pick Monkey, I just want you to know what you're signing up for.
Okay, yeah. I'm totally cool with trying to figure out the challenge, but as long as it's not like a failed thought experiment right
I mean,
now.
it's not traditional, but like I literally played against Monkey King offlane like 2 weeks ago or something.
And I guess is going Maelstrom instead of Echo Saber absolutely crazy on Monkey?
I mean, I think if you're Monkey King offlane, unless you're able to like run at heroes, you're fucking useless in the game. Like I would be upset if I had a Monkey King offlane go farming items. I think Echo Saber into Maelstrom could work.
Okay.
But like I would want your first item to be like something that helps you participate in the game. Yes.
So my thought process on the Maelstrom was like, he doesn't actually farm all that fast. So like hitting the timings, I've been having difficulty with. Maelstrom gives him the attack speed, so it lets him like Jingu. So it like sort of fills the Echo role of being a fighty item, but it is better for farming. Maybe it's just I'm new to the hero, but Echo's just felt bad when I get it first.
I mean, I think the best way for you to learn this stuff is to just do it personally. Like, for me, I think offlane Monkey King going Maelstrom would be on average very bad. Like for the game itself and the way this hero plays. But I also think it's important. Like, it's hard for me to explain to you why it's bad. And for all I know, in your games, it could work better to go Maelstrom over Echo Saber. I mean, you have your options of like Echo Saber, you have Diffusal, you have Mage Slayer. I think all three of these are reasonable options. So I don't want you to think that Echo's the only option. You know, Echo into it would be usually Echo into Deso, but it's usually Diffusal into BKB. Mage Slayer can kind of go either direction. I mean, Mage Slayer, I don't think Mage Slayer Deso is ever an item build because you just have 0 stats for 7k. But I mean, my main thought about all this is like if I watch this back, I don't really mind anything you're doing. You're just miscasting spells, which, you know, is fine. Like, it just is what it is. As I'm watching, like, that's my main thought so far, is just missing spells.
Yeah, getting the timing down and the hitbox on his Q is harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, Monkey King's awkward as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, all of his spells are very easily missable. I mean, the thing about Monkey King, if I give you one tip in the mid game, is the amount of time you show on creep waves is as long as you like about a second and a half max. Any longer, you're just gonna die. Like I would tell you that past the laning stage, unless you see 5 heroes, if you show on a creep wave, you're just gonna die. But like usually with Monkey, it's Primal Spring onto the wave and then stun it, and like that's how you kill the wave really fast. If you're maxing Jingu, you're literally signing up to only fight heroes. So I think the main limiting factor I'm telling you is if you sit on top of creep waves as Monkey King, in general, it's just you're gonna feed. And that's how the hero develops from laning stage. He's like this menacing stand on top of the creep wave, you can't walk up hero. And then somewhere around 10 minutes, he becomes a fucking little bitch that sits on trees. And you never see him. And there is a hard transition in there. It's just kind of dependent upon the matchups in the game. But like how much you're supposed to show on this hero in the lane is like inverse in the mid game. Like 10, 15 minutes plus. So like if I can just tell you're new to Monkey if I watch this, right? You're just like standing on top of a creep wave and just casually hitting it. Like I know you're new to Monkey. Like if you watch Monkeys, you'll see them Primal Spring on it, stun it, and jump away. And they're gone. Like that's how Monkey gets played. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense because I have been struggling with just evaporating randomly. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the thing about the heroes you normally play is they sit on lanes. So this is like a pretty big playstyle shift for you. Like if you were to play Legion, it's the same thing. Once you get Blink, you go from being on map, standing there with a blade mail, like pushing the wave with Q and trading, to like literally never showing on creep waves unless duel's on cooldown. Like you just like these heroes hard transition to like off map. So I think the main question for you to think about is if you're playing these hunter type heroes, distinguish you this is a skill you've never had to develop. You have to develop the idea of am I on map or off map right now. And so, you know, if you end up in the game where your skill build doesn't allow you to play off map, which off map means you show on creep waves very little. That's what it means. You're allowed to show, but very briefly. So, like, basically, you fucked up if you find yourself showing on creep waves and you have, like, you feel like you have to farm and you have max Jingu. Like, you fucked. Like, what you would do in this case, as a Monkey King with max Jingu, is you would push this wave, sure. And then I see what's happening top, and I'm going to, like, TP in and look to ult these guys. Like, I have to fight. You are fighting. You know, like, you don't have a choice. Anything you do that's not fighting is, like, when there's a fight going on, like, I would be at this. For sure.
So Jingu, I should think of it more like Legion's
E. You probably want 2 points minimum, but the more you put than 2 points is I'm winning the lane. I'm a Giga Chad.
Okay.
So yeah, that period where you go off map can somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes. And the more points you put in Jingu, you're saying the longer that's going to be. Like, the later that's going to be. Basically.
Okay.
That's how I
that
would
makes
look at it.
sense.
Cool. Any other questions?
Nah, that was it. Appreciate it.
Sweet, man. I look forward to seeing your Hunter hero arc here. So, sweet. So, EA is pretty good against Monkey King? Yeah, she's pretty good. For sure. Has anybody in class watched Dr. K's recent video on, like, learning from failures as opposed to mistakes? I really liked that video. Looks like nobody's seen it. Joe is not here, but we shall answer his question. Arana mid, review 10 to 20 minute actions. Okay. He said watch it on fast forward between 10 to 20 minutes. I will observe your 10 to 20 minute gameplay and see what happens there. Okay, you're up by 3k. You're playing for runes. You're on back to mid. Yeah, very cool. Okay, we're not allowed to hit tier 2 towers. This isn't a thing. So for me, we're not allowed to hit tier 2 towers. Right now, I get a rune. I'm like, oh, sick. My team is pressuring a tower top. I'm going to either TP here or I'm going to walk here. I just got a rune. I'm really strong. Hitting tier 2 towers not allowed. That's cardinal sin in the dojo. We've talked about this. So I'm either here, depending on what I see. So with this, I would not go top. So I probably walk towards bottom here. And look to pressure this tower because they're respawning. Either way, I just don't hit a tier 2. Anything's better than you that for my use of time. So you're keeping the lane pushed in. Great. We definitely want to look to walk places. So you're going to walk top. Fantastic. Beautiful. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Beautiful. I'd probably go through gate here. Actually, Slark's going through gate. Never mind. I'm thinking like a true carry player. Okay, so the problem with this TP is that you have no mana. So I actually look at this and I'm looking at your status on the map. Because it's 13 minutes in and there's nothing to immediately do, I actually probably clear this hard camp here and TP base. That's probably what I do here. I think you need like a hard reset. You want to be back out on the map by 14 minutes. There's regular power runes. There's wisdom shrines. You're really strong. So for me, this is like a really crucial, you're up by 8k, you're strong on the map, and I want you to see that by TPing mid, and then fighting this guy with no mana, you actually have to back, right? Like, now you're just off the map. Like, you're completely off the map now, right? Meaning, like, you're not strong, you don't feel like you can walk anywhere, you're farming defensively while you're up by 8k. So that was all caused by taking a fight and then not TPing base. So now I need you to go to base anytime now. And however long it takes you to go to base from here is your MMR. However long it takes. Okay, there's your MMR. Right. So these are the moments where it's really hard to show you how much it cost you. But I know bad things are going to happen when you don't go to base after I see this, right? Like, where you see this, where you TP, you try to go on a guy because you think you're strong, and then you're like, shit. And then you run away. So this was the moment where you would know you fucked up, which means you probably had to reset your resources at some point prior to this. Like, that's how you learn. Where you're like, I want to be aggressive, but I don't have the resources to do it. That's, like, the trigger. So this was the moment where you be like, oh, that means I needed to reset. I like, to be efficient, I can clear this big camp. If you wanted to just TB base, that's fine too. It's a close second place to just resetting. But yeah, then we get this really, you know... I think I might have talked to you about, like, replenishing your resources before. Like, it might be a consistent trend for you is what I'm trying to say. So now that you're back with resources, you're all good, which is great. You can look to connect to your team bottom here, I think. Everyone on the enemy team's dead, I guess. Interesting. You actually walk away from your team when your team's really strong. I would have walked towards my team here. I'd be curious what your thought is for not walking towards bottom tower right now. Like, you're really strong, right? Like, you can tell you're strong. You have ags. Like, I'm curious what makes you walk not towards your teammates. That's the thought. Like, if you're not going to walk towards your teammates, that means you're just farming, which is fine. But I saw an opportunity to fight there, and I'm just curious what your idea was. But, hey, like, this is the thing, man. You guys' MMR, it reflects it. It's just, how long does it take you to get to the right place? But you guys get there eventually. And I want to show you guys that you have pretty good game sense. You're like, oh, that is where I should be. So I'm going to go there now. It just took you an extra minute and a half. This is, like, really awful, I think, actually. I say this is really awful because, for me, you're so fucking strong. Everything you do walks at the opponent, right? So, like, for me, I need to get more mana, and I'm walking like this, and I'm going like this. You're relinquishing the pressure a lot. I'm sorry for saying it's awful. I just want you to see how fucking far ahead you are, and you're walking backwards on the map. Like, you're unkillable, like, so strong. And we're, like, walking backwards. This is good. So here, I want you to think about connecting to your team. You're so strong. You're not connecting to your team enough. I'm going to wrap it up here. But so what I would do with this is I would walk towards here, cut the wave here, and then go this way. So you walking all the way back here for one creep is definitely not worth it. So when you want to connect to your team, look to be as far up as possible. So you would have cut this wave and walked towards your team. And this is preventing you from connecting to your team again by the time a fight breaks out. I want you to see that. So it's all about you turning these early leads into connecting to your team more. And I think that's where you're at now. That's like, that's the improvement that we need to see. All right, how did the max charges of this work? Because you don't have 4 charges at the start of the game, right? How does this ability work? Do you get, like, extra charges at certain levels or something? She has 2 max charges, but gains 1 every 7 levels. Ah, very cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Andre. You nailed the question. Yeah, unkillable may be a bit exaggerated, but strong is definitely a thing. Okay, Galder or Rupesh, sub dude, you said I was a game away from Ancient and had a bad
Yo.
streak of games. The problem was I'm hyper focused on a few things to improve on Lifestealer based on our coaching session, and it has been banned a lot due to its current popularity. When it is banned, I feel pretty lost in terms of my mindset. I fall back to just try to win and don't really have an improvement mindset. Makes sense. I can relate to this. On top of that, when I run out of roll queue tokens, my win rate's 35 to 40%, and my MMR just tanks. Then I get roll queue tokens again, hopefully get to play Lifestealer and recoup my losses. My question is, how should I solve this problem? Should I shift my approach and try to learn different roles, have another hero to focus on playing, and have a specific thing to try and improve? Yeah, any follow-up on that before I answer?
One of the reasons that I wanted to ask you this is I felt like you talked about this on stream a while ago when you mentioned it was like harder to get carry the higher MMR you got, and you had to change things. And I feel like similar. Yeah, but I just figured you would have some thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, I definitely have thoughts. I mean, I went the opposite extreme. So there's two extremes here. One is you're super rigid and you only play one hero, and the other extreme is that you like I just accept that I'm not going to get carry very often, and I play 4 games and I'm playing 3 different roles across 4 games every day, and I get like no practice because I don't get to play the same hero. So there's like a balance there, right? Like I know our cases are a bit different. But like in your case, if we're talking about role queue tokens, I would look to pick one hero that plays core and support and just like have it as my hero that I want to learn. So like, you can pick something like Bat, you can pick something like Dawnbreaker, you can pick something like, Spearbreaker or Tiny or, whatever. And just play this hero in whatever role you're getting that isn't carry. There are like a decent amount of heroes in Dota that can flex pretty hard. As long as you know what you're doing. And, that would be for me like the most optimal way to address that issue without, because at the same time, we still want to play Dota for the reason that we enjoy it, which you love Lifestealer the most. You want to play carry. So, we need to cover these situations because they cause us enough problems, but we need to not, over adjust basically. I over adjusted for sure. And when it comes to like not playing Lifestealer, for me, what makes a great Dota player, and I'm not saying you're trying to go pro or whatever, but for me, when I say what makes a great Dota player, it's also like what makes Dota the most enjoyable, in my opinion, is to have an answer to every problem. Like that's what I think makes Dota enjoyable. And the first step is like if you love a certain hero, is to know how to play the hero in every circumstance, right? You're against 3 hard counters, but you still know how to best win that game, even if it doesn't work, perhaps because you're against hard counters. You figure it out, like the best way to optimize that situation. So inevitably, I think Immortal came with a somewhat similar question, but instead of it being his heroes ban, he loves Anti-Mage and Void, and he was talking about potentially playing other heroes. And I'm like, what's your reason for playing other heroes? And he said, because there's just drafts where both these heroes suck. So then I talked to him about how would you describe the drafts where these heroes suck? And then, so he's now playing Weaver and Tiny. I don't, it's been an experiment so far, but it's funny to watch him because he's playing these tempo carries and he's playing so high tempo that he's like sacrificing his own farm. That's been like what's happening for him when I'm watching his replays and stuff. But that's like understandable because he's trying to balance playing really high tempo, versus like he said he really likes to play super farm heavy or super high tempo, but for every hero there's times where Anti-Mage joins fights and there's times where Weaver just needs to farm, and he's not really finding that basically that middle ground. So what I'm trying to say is that learning new heroes comes with new challenges, but it also vastly increases your understanding of the game, in my opinion. And so I do think it's worth for you to have at least one other hero that you think solves your Lifestealer problem. It can be because it's very similar to Lifestealer, and you just need another hero because it's banned. That's like a different problem than what Immortal had, or it could be something else. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. I play a decent amount of Slark, but I feel like I haven't been having luck with it. I would like what do you think would be another hero that plays that style? That would be
For me, the closest to Lifestealer is Wraith King. By far the closest, in my opinion. Another hero would be, let me think. Wraith King is immediately comes to mind.
I know like Weaver likes to play the lane a lot also. But
oh,
and
you're
he's pretty
thinking about in
survivable.
terms of playing the lane. The best options are Tiny, Weaver, Morphling.
I'm not touching Morphling.
Maybe TA, maybe Lone Druid. I'll be honest, I don't think Lone Druid's that hard anymore. But I know he's a lot harder than Lifestealer mechanically.
I mean, I think another issue that I have is just like when I play something that I don't have confidence in myself in playing, I play way worse than I probably should due to that lack of confidence. Like if one thing goes wrong, I'm just like in my head, like, why did I even pick this hero? Or
how would you
like what am
define
I even doing?
confidence?
I don't believe that I'll be able to win the game or have a positive impact on the game if I'm playing something else.
So you're saying confidence is performance based?
Yes.
Is it possible for somebody to be confident while being bad at something?
Oh, for sure.
So if I ask you, in your definition of confidence is performance based, but you're telling me it's possible to be confident while being bad at something, what does that make you? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think my view of confidence is skewed, and can be misrepresented, but that's just like in my mind what I think.
Yeah, what I'm trying to tell you is that I think I've thought very similarly my entire life, and for me, the only impact that like therapy and talking to people has had is when they just point out the obvious contradictions of the way I think.
Right.
Like they don't tell you, well, that's stupid, or you shouldn't think that way. It's just that, you know, when presented with a contradiction, it isn't like, I think it's natural as a human to be like, what do I do with this contradiction? Like that is contradictory. So
Yeah.
like my hope, or what I'm not my hope, but like what I'm trying to do is like get you to revisit what the word confidence means to you. Because I've noticed that when I treat something differently internally than I would assess it on somebody else, it's a problem.
Can you repeat that statement
So
again?
like
Hold on.
let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, there's two ways to be a hypocrite, right? You can be a hypocrite to other people, or you can be a hypocrite to yourself. So what I mean by that is like, you know, if I hold myself, like if I'm allowed to just dick off and treat people like shit, but then the second somebody says something mean to me, I go, wah! You know, that's being a hypocrite, right? But then if I say that anyone can be confident even if they're bad at something, but I'm only allowed to be confident if I'm good at something, like that's being hypocritical towards yourself, in my opinion. So,
yeah, makes sense.
Like, so for me, all I'm trying to say is that I've found a lot healthier perspective when I find myself treating myself the same way I would treat somebody else. Basically self-compassion to some degree, but also like the point is I've learned it through identifying it's a problem if there's a discrepancy between how I treat others and myself. And you and I both have that tendency to be really hard on ourselves, I think. So
what you're saying makes sense. I don't know how that looks in practice.
It's something that, for me, you know, Capybara came to class yesterday and said, like, hey, we would have liked some examples. It took me 3 times to figure out what I was supposed to do. And your response was, that's exactly what, you know, the point of these drills are. Great. You know, my thought for you is that, like, the only way to understand that is to go live your life. And when you experience a moment where, you know, you're just thinking about doing anything, I would just bring to attention, how do I feel confidence-wise about anything I'm doing, and just look at it. You know, it's the same as you looked at the laning stage and you said, I was afraid to go for range creeps. And then I asked you, well, what were you afraid of? And you said, DK stun into Batrider. And I said, well, here's DK far over here. You're not going for a range creep. Why aren't you going for that range creep? Right? And it's because, you know, you said, I'm not even looking for it anymore. I've kind of just written off the range creeps. Right? So, like, my thought about confidence in terms of what do you do with that, you're not going to understand it unless you just talk about the confidence when it happens. Like, that for me is the only way.
No, it makes sense. I mean, I feel like when I play with other people who are like trying something new and learning, I'm like, right on. You know, you're challenging yourself. That's awesome. And then when I do it, it's like, what are you doing?
Exactly. I mean, you're a teacher. You're literally encouraging other people to do what you're struggling to do, and it's hard, to be fair to ourselves. Like, it's just hard. Like, there's two. I mean, it's very hard to be balanced in these type of things. So, like, I get it. I mean, I'm really hard on myself. I've honestly only really started seeing the light a little bit in the last, like, 6 months when it comes to not being so hard on myself. But even then, I still have bouts where I struggle with it and all that. So, I mean, the point is just drawing attention to that hypocrisy, because hypocrisy can either be unfair to others or it can be unfair to yourself, you know? And at the end of the day, you are being unfair to yourself, but that's not meant to, like, shame you. That's just meant to be like, hey, man, like, confidence does not come from performance. But for me, I had to dig deep and be like, why does confidence come from performance? You know, like, who taught me that? Where did I learn that? Was it society? Was it school? Was it somebody in my life? Like, what was the answer? So that's what I had to do. But
yeah, I mean, that's built in to a lot of things. Like, like results-based everything from when you're in kindergarten, really.
Did you ever read the Punished by Rewards book? I know I've mentioned it several times.
Yeah, Alfie Cohen's book.
Yeah, you read that one?
Mm-hmm.
It gave me an interesting perspective on this type of stuff. So I'm curious what your thoughts.
Mean, no, I mean, I agree with a lot of those. It's so hard to apply that to myself. I
Very
don't know
difficult.
if I can explain it well enough about how difficult it is for me to do it. Maybe I just need to, like, bear down and not worry about it and just do it.
It's, I mean, acting like, bearing down and don't act like it doesn't exist is definitely not going to work. I can tell you from multiple experiences.
Or yeah. I mean, like, at the very least, just drawing attention to it when it happens. I think is the first step.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think just drawing it, like I said, drawing attention to it is the first thing.
I mean, the hardest part about all of this is, like, I mean, I struggled with immense amount of anxiety for years, and for me, anxiety, what it does is it prevents me from just even looking at a problem. And I'm not saying you have anxiety. I'm just like, for me, that's what came to mind about my own issues, is like, there's been so many times where I've lived through the same issue various times. Like, it'll happen once a month or whatever. Like, it's not chronic, but it happens various moments throughout 5-year period. And what happens when I'm anxious is I don't look at the problem. Like, I just want the problem to be over. Like, I'm just like, just be over, please.
Yeah.
So
that's how I feel when I'm in a game and I'm playing something I'm, like, not confident in. I'm like, I just want to win and have this and just, like, move on with my life. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I just want this to be over. Yeah, literally what I had to condition myself is, when I feel like I want something to be over, I need to sit down and think about it for a long fucking time. That's been my conclusion. It's not pleasant. I'm not trying to act like this is fun. It's sitting in a lot of shit is what I learned. But what happens there is I no longer have the problem anymore.
Yeah, and I think this question spawned from, like, just, like, having a miserable week of playing Dota because I couldn't, like, do what I quote unquote wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when that happens for, like, 4 or 5 days in a row, it's just like, I just want those games to be over. I just, like, want to go back.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The deal is, like, I was being a bit too much of a people pleaser, maybe a lot too much, when it came to letting people play carry in my games. And it was really funny. I had a chat with ChatGPT about it. I don't usually talk to AI about this kind of stuff, but sometimes I'll take its feedback and see what it says. And in my experience with ChatGPT, anytime you ask it like a therapy type question, like give me your thoughts on this, it like glazes you really hard. Like that's been my experience. So I went to ChatGPT and said, "Hey ChatGPT, I'm struggling to play carry, and I feel like this, and this. Like I really I'm scared of people like dual laning and like getting upset when they don't get to play because they just like fuck off and don't play support and don't try and like I feel like I need to be more assertive, but I don't know what to do." And ChatGPT, for lack of like sharing the whole story with you, said to me, effectively, you are so afraid of a little bit of confrontation that you're ruining your entire life because you can't focus on like a 30-second uncomfortable interaction. Like that's what it said to me. And it literally like shit on me. Like I was like, holy fuck, I'm so used to getting glazed by this thing. That when it shit on me, I'm like, okay, that must mean something. But it was funny because I also knew it was right, even though AI doesn't usually understand people. But the point is that like the problem is not facing it. That is the problem. Like thinking, I want this to be over. How do I make it over? Rather than I'm going to be in this spot again. What can I do with this spot? That's what you sound like you're coming to me with today. Meaning like you said, hey, this is a big enough problem. Yeah.
Yeah, like from the perspectives of like picking a hero to play, which sounds so, not a big deal, but like in
No,
ways...
it is a big deal though, because it's a mindset thing. Like it's a huge deal. It's a huge mindset shift because you said like when you feel like you're actively working on something and improving, you really enjoy it. And Lifestealer is what you enjoy working with the most. So then you're ending up in situations where you're like, I haven't thought about something to improve. That's what you said in your
yeah
in your thing. So
yeah, exactly.
So for me, I would focus my attention away from Lifestealer very briefly, maybe as long as a month, just depending, like maybe a little bit less, but ideally focusing it away long enough that you have a reliable second hero. Like where now, the minute you go back to saying, I'm going to pick Lifestealer every game, you have that solace knowing that if he gets banned, you have a backup. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that peace of mind is what's important.
I tried that like a month or two ago with Ricky, and it's funny because you just mentioned why you don't play Ricky, and it's like why I don't like playing it anymore. It's because they just group up and the game's miserable and you have no counterplay at all.
Do you have hesitations with Wraith King specifically?
No, I could try Wraith King.
I think like just because you like to chill and vibe with the mechanics and like Radiance buyers and all that, he does like rotate through jungle a little bit more, but he likes to be near his lane for a long time. Like I think Wraith King is by far the most similar.
I like the idea. I know there's like a lot of nuances with the skeletons and how they path.
He's it's very much like Lifestealer where he's mechanically simple, but like there are nuances with the way he plays the game, and I like it a lot too.
Cool.
Yeah, just speaking from somebody who conceptually loves Lifestealer like I do, I do conceptually love Wraith King. I just think, they've nerfed him a decent amount, but he still has like, let me check. I'm sure his win rate's still like 54% or something. Dota above for Wraith King. 53%. I'm sure he's fine.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Awesome, man. I'll let you go there.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. I enjoy those conversations. Always do. Let's get to KT Kid. We'll go a little bit long today just because I will not be here the next couple weeks. KT Kid is not here. Okay. Looks like he might have. I thought he was here earlier. So KT Kid said, I started playing Lone Druid again. I played with my dojo mate, and I told him I felt very bad if I stopped playing on my side and we go 5v5. What happened is I still try to keep on fighting, but we all die. I'm gonna watch, but in my experience, like I've played him only 3 games, but I literally watched a bunch of games and then it's checked out of my games. Like you buy an Ags and you never play with your hero ever again. Like that is just the hero, and he is a split pushing hero. Like if I were to fast forward in the game, you have. Yeah, so for me, these are fights you just don't go to. Like, for me, what Lone Druid is a split pusher through and through. So, like, I'm taking this tower. I'm not TPing, responding to this type of stuff. This is definitely not good. You actually really griefed yourself here by making this TP. Because, like, if you had stayed bottom, you'd just be here. You would have killed this building, and you'd be farming like this, maybe. And now you're, like, just on the super passive part of the map. You basically lost all map control right there. I think if I look at the graphs, your win percentage chance, yeah, went from 66 to. Oh wait, it was right here, right? Where did you TP? You TP'd. What moment did you TP? You TP'd at 1915. I mean, it's kind of obvious though, because your team died. So. Okay, so. I mean, you guys win a big fight at 31. You said at 32. Okay, we'll keep fast forwarding. I do think this TP was really bad. That was nice. You forced a rotation and then TP'd away. That's good to do when you're not when your team is not doing stuff in the game. Okay, and keep going. So for me, you're prioritizing the lane too much here. So the most important thing when you're pushing out the map is that you're also killing group camps. So like, I'm going to farm the small camp here. I'm going to farm the small camp here, wave here, big camp here. And if the fight's still going on top, I'll hit the tower. But now, you know, we're like up here getting booted by Necro and having to TP. That feels really bad. Because now we're like walking forward on the map to... Yeah, basically these two TPs have completely griefed you. I want you to notice that when you TP back after not... Like, it's not a reaction if it's like a bot's hero with gradients, you know? Like, this isn't really a reaction. You're not... Basically, heroes like Necro, when you force them to respond to you, it doesn't, like, do anything for you on the map. Like, when you force somebody to TP and defend this and then TP'd out, it's, like, very different than, like, this Necro just making you go back to base when it was, like, avoidable. Just, like, a very different thing. So, what's happening here? Okay. Nice. Where are you going with the bear? Yeah, your bear... Your bear... The beauty about this is your bear can be on the side lane while... Like, your bear isn't like a tower defending hero. Your bear should never be defending a tower. Your bear should be doing this. Your bear is not a defensive hero, so this is not good. Okay, so you're split pushing here. This is good. I think that was a bit overly scared. I think you could have ran your bear. I think you could just run your bear up to the next wave. I want you to think that Necro does not want to walk this way. You can, like, run your bear over here. I think this is way too scared of a TB. I'm actually wondering why you're so scared there. The whole idea of playing carry in these type of games where you're trying to split them is to try to stay on the map as best as possible. So there's just been a few times you returned to base. And I didn't like it with the bear. Okay, so you summon a new bear. I like this play. TP the bear top. Your hero go. Yep, this is good. Yeah, good. Yeah, great. That's funny. Nice play there. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not how Lone Druid wants the game to be. But I don't think there's anything you did there. I mean, generally speaking, Lone Druid is either, like, he's, like, winning and he's, like, in 5-man mode, or he's losing and he's, like, in this split push rat mode. So any good fight that will happen is off of you split pushing and them being forced to react to it, which is exactly what happened here. So, I mean, you can tell your teammates, like, the way that good fights happen is by me forcing reactions and then them doing this. So, I'm not saying that this fight was particularly good or whatever, but it's like, I want you to see that the formula for this one was you forcing a reaction and then your team taking a fight somewhere else. The other one was them going to your bear. Like, that's not good if you're losing. Like, there's just two different versions of Lone Druid, right? You're either, like, running at them relentlessly, because your bear is, like, super strong, or you're, like, splitting them up with your rat shit. And you're in the rat shit mode for sure. Okay. I learned that you can use the courier deliver button when you select your bear, if you didn't know that. Yeah, so you shouldn't be chasing this guy. You should be cutting creep waves and then have your bear ready to TP. Yeah, so the big thing for me here is that your bear could have been on the map this whole time. So, like, this is just the same as a carry walking back to base instead of just farming the map. So, you know, my thoughts are, like, you know, you recall your bear to give it, or your bear gets the items. You know, my thought would be, why does your bear not stay on the map? Like, there's just a wave to go here. You know, my thought is, what is the plan here? Your plan on bear is to split them up, which I think you know. So I just think you're retreating your bear too much. You already have a second bear, so it's fine if it dies. It's not, like, ideal, but it's fine. And Quap split pushing top. Instead, you're, like, chasing a Pango. This just looks really weird to me that you're doing this. This, like, isn't Lone Druid's hero. To me, that's strange. I'm curious what your thoughts were there. But I know you're not here. Okay. Capybara. Okay, so you're looking at like 10 to 20 minutes. You've been trying Kaya on Lena instead. Okay. How's the Kaya been in general?
It has been better. I still like the Maelstrom. To get creeps, it's faster, I guess, but low mana all the time, so I switch it to Kaya. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, just so you know, I'm not saying to never buy Maelstrom. Just worth trying for sure. I think to go a mana-oriented build if you are having that trouble. I mean, I don't remember. I remember us talking about, like, potentially, like, a Falcon Blade and stuff to invade, I believe. I'm not sure if, like, Falcon Blade would fix your Maelstrom
Yes,
problem. But
I put this as an option when I play against a carry on the mid, like
yeah.
Alchemist and this type of carry or standard carry heroes.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if Lena mid, it's probably not good, but I'm almost wondering with, like, a Maelstrom build if you could go something like Soul Ring to, like, solve the mana problem. Because that's what, like, Quaps are doing nowadays. Let's watch it here, though. Yeah, looks good so far. Get your Kaya. Quaps pushing top, or sorry, ganking top, so you push mid. Fantastic.
Yeah, this is the part of the game that I want to have more net worth. I also want to be with the team. I don't know if that's because people keep at least in my brackets, they want to fight all the time. That's my feeling. And no, I want my items. Like I want to play in a kind of carry mode or a selfish way. I don't want to be with people.
I think what you're doing is good. I'm curious why you're not farming ancients right now. Like why you keep walking mid. Like
yeah, I saw that, and
but I'm curious what makes you keep going.
at this time, probably because of the power runes, I saw, okay, I'm gonna push mid because yeah, power runes will spawn in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, but there's nothing to really push, right? You have an Undying already here. So like for me, this is the first moment where I don't agree with what you did. Like I would have just hit this and then be ready for the power rune at 14. This was your first major inefficiency, I would say.
Then I saw Pudge, and okay, I'm gonna deny that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I learned the lesson already. Was hooked by Pudge a lot of times in exactly situation. I remember you saying that's classic Pudge.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, this is an awkward game because you have a Troll Warlord who's farming. You have no Initiator. You have a Veno Undying supports, and you have Dawnbreaker offlane. So the only way fights will happen is defensively. There's literally nothing to do in the game.
That's why I also decided to go the farming items first, then go in travels, because I look at that and no, I'm gonna go for Kaya.
Yeah, sure. I think you're wandering aggressively on the map too much. Like, I would just be clearing Ancients as well. Playing purely defensively against these heroes. You're against Pudge, Spearbreaker. Like, their heroes need to kill heroes or they just feel really awful. Yeah, like, just don't be up on the map. Literally that. Yeah. You're their ideal point of contact. Like, they want to gank you, so I would just hardly ever be showing, basically, other than clearing waves near my towers. You probably missed a few too many triangle camps, I would say, this game. Like, you went into their jungle instead of your own. I mean, you're just in a game with no initiator, so, and you're the main target for the opponent, so that's just pretty much everything that's dictating this game right now. I think this is fine, but you need to, yeah, okay, we see them now, we're good. Yeah, this is good. Defensive reactionary fights are exactly what this game is. This is great.
I remember you saying, I don't need to be close to the team, but be ready.
Yeah, that was very good.
Fight when I have travels.
Yep, that was very good. Walk away from the team, great.
I believe from 20 to 30 minutes we built an advantage. I believe 6 to 7k, but I don't know, the team was kind of awkward, or we couldn't get objectives.
I mean, you guys have no kill threat. Like, you literally have no place. So your entire way to win the game is out farming them, and if they go on you, you kill them. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys farmed the map. There was one fight that went about even, but you guys are just out farming them. If nothing's happening in the game, you guys win.
Yeah, at this point we are 7k ahead, 25 minutes, but
yeah,
I feel like these guys don't want to play. I don't know. The game felt a few awkward.
What I'm not trying. I'm gonna be stern here. What about your team has no stuns or initiations is confusing.
No, yeah. I didn't have that read during the game. I was just like, okay, guys, we gotta do something because in the late game, I don't want to be dealing with this Ursa and also co-op with a lot of items. I don't want to go for a 1 hour game, but that's what happened.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, the fact that
like...
The funny part about all of this is that earlier I did a coaching session and the guy was playing Ursa and he was talking about having a tough time making plays and all that kind of stuff. And what I draw attention to you guys is you're accurate to feel like this game is awkward. You're accurate to be like, what is going on here? But rather than thinking Dota kills happen, Dota plays are made. No, it's just how is a play made? That's it. Like when we feel that feeling of like, this is awkward. This is awkward. What the fuck do we do now? I feel like we should be doing more. The most important thing we ask ourselves is, how does our teams do something? And so in his game, it was like a very specific, he needs to be around Legion. But like in your game, there is no fucking answer. It's literally, we are in reactionary mode until I have Shadowblade Sheep. Like, that's our first chance. Maybe Troll gets an Abyssal, but even then, like this guy literally went Blink Basher. Okay, maybe we have plays. I don't know. This guy felt it too, apparently. I don't know.
I checked him and I saw he has a blink. He got even the blink earlier first, and I thought, I don't play Troll, but I don't think blink is a good idea.
Yeah.
And I was, okay, we're going to a late game, at least 45, 50 minutes. And
I mean, I think your
personally-
overall approach was pretty damn good, honestly. Like, you've been playing the map farm. I think, like, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, yeah, you feel the game is awkward for a reason. Like, not every draft is ideal. There's a lot of people you'll see in, like, the Twitch comments and shit that are just like, what a grief draft and shit like this. But it's like, no, our job in pubs is to just adjust to whatever draft we're given. I think you guys getting a single kill and walking down a lane is great. Like, that's exactly what we want to be doing with this lineup, because we don't literally do anything else. But, like, you know, right now, I would have probably TP'd away from my team. But you want to walk at them more? That's fine. I don't care. Oh, this is great. Yeah. And then the game accelerates very quickly because suddenly you guys, like, literally out-farmed them for 10 minutes. Like, I said at minute 15, like, just to say that I understand this, I said, you win this game if nothing happens. Remember how I said that?
Yeah.
So I just want you to see that there's balance in all things. Your lineup actually farms pretty fast. Veno farms fast. Dawnbreaker farms fast. Troll should farm decently because, I mean, he usually goes Battle Fury, but he didn't. Your hero farms fast. Their entire lineup relies on kills. They have Spearbreaker. They have Pudge. Like, those heroes are fucking useless if they're not killing anybody. Right? So, for me, it's just, it does feel awkward to be winning and feel strong and not be doing anything. But I want to show you that, like, in theory, you can look at the draft and be like, yeah, nothing's happening in this game that actually favors us. I'll just keep farming and look for these defensive fights. And you did do a good job of that, right? Like, you saw the fight top, you responded to it, you were ready. So I just want to show you that I understand on an average game basis why you would feel awkward, right? Like most games, you have some form of playmaking, but this one you don't. So we find ourselves in this, we are instinctually assuming that plays should be made, but that's not an assumption that can be made. We should always ask ourselves, how is a play made? And sometimes there's no answer. And that means we do nothing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this.
I think you did a lot of good things in this game, though. Like, I think there's a reason you were super farmed. I think the only thing you tried to do was potentially, like, be too far up on the map and play too aggressively when you could just jungle more. I think that's, like, the only thing you did wrong, you know? But in general, I'd say the majority of your decisions were on point. So, any thoughts?
Okay. Could you just unpause for, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 minutes? Because after this fight, I felt that we should get at least Rex.
No, that's not a thing.
Troll.
Yeah, Troll died.
Yeah, I believe Troll went over T3. Yeah, no. Yeah.
No racks to be had there. Team dies. You push out top wave and TP bottom here. Or you stand them. Yeah, I would have TP bottom there. That's fine what you did too.
Yeah. After that was just a lot of team fights, win, lose, and 1 hour game.
Yeah, so in this case, we need to... Like, in these cases, I'm fixing lanes right after this. Like, if I'm you, I'm TPing bottom. Yeah, bottom lane needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Because for me, what matters is the map's not... You're not going to end the game this way. Yeah, not good. Need to fix lanes.
That's pretty much it. Your job is to fix lanes. You are really good at this because you play off lane. Honestly, in this particular game, I'm probably taking Light Strike away to one-shot creep waves. I don't think... Maybe you... I actually don't know the numbers. Maybe with Kaya Yasha, you one-shot creep waves, but I would have probably taken the Light Strike array to one-shot creep waves. But maybe that's a grief.
Yeah, I got because the Quap and Zeus.
Yeah,
me,
that's what I'm
that's a
saying. Maybe it's a
bunch of
grief. Maybe you have to
magic.
do this, and it's fine. Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm playing to clear these creep waves, and even if you're not killing them, like for the CS, like at least you're pushing them. Like for me, this is just a classic. Like you kill Roche, one lane's bad. We have bots. Just go fix it. If you don't go fix it, bad things happen. This is just standard stuff for me. Just this exact game
Right
state.
after the Roche, I should TP bot, right?
Yep, you TP bot. You push one wave literally. You connect back through here. You get the rune if it's there. Connect back to your team, and the game just looks different. But instead, like Spearbreaker split push pressuring bottom, your team's all here, telegraphing a play. For me, yeah, it's just very easy for the opponent to do what they want here, basically. They have all the time in the world to set up. Spearbreaker can do whatever he wants on the map.
Yep.
And, yep. Any other questions about this?
No, I'm good.
Sweet, man. I'm going to boot you.
Thanks.
Okay. I like to see the improvement, though. Clearly, I like working with you guys like this. Capybara, there's clearly improvement there, and I like seeing it. We can talk for 5 minutes there, Andre, and then I gotta go. You want to talk about revisiting heroes you used to not like?
Hey,
Yo, what's up?
all good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Busy day, busy week. But yeah, man, what's up? What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I was thinking about what you said about the bouldering story, and I'm thinking how we can apply to like the reason that I don't like some heroes.
Sure.
And the pattern that I noticed is throughout the years, I never liked playing melee heroes with slow attack speed. So I kind of don't like Sven, Raid King, Faceless Void. Like I know Faceless get attack speed late game, but I don't like laning with them and stuff like this. And in the last like 2-3 years, I've started playing Shaker mid and Tiny mid, and I think I got more comfortable with this. And recently I tried Raking Carry like 1 or 2 games and it was somewhat fun, but I didn't on the base fan. I know, and now I'm thinking that like whether I can take something from what you said and how to think about it.
I mean, this is something I don't. I'll just give my perspective. I don't know how much this helps or not. So for me, what I've realized on pretty much every part of Dota is the heroes I don't like are the ones I don't understand. Whether that's I don't understand how to make use of them in terms of their impact in the game, or whether I like, for instance, like if it were me, it's like I'm not the best at CSing, or it feels awkward to play the lane with low attack speed on a melee hero. And maybe there's some mechanic I'm not using to properly get what I need out of the lane to CS. You know, for me, everything that I got frustrated with in the past, it's because I didn't understand it. And the second I understand it, I feel like even if I don't particularly want to play the hero anymore, I no longer dislike the hero. I think there's a big difference between being like neutral to a hero and like having a strong dislike for heroes. And I think in the past, I used to be far more prone to having strong dislikes for heroes. And now they're just a part of the game to me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like there is a difference there.
When you're saying dislike, do you mean you also dislike when he's like in the game or in your team, or do you just dislike?
It can be one or the other. It can be one or the other. Like it can be both. Like where I dislike playing them and I dislike them in the game. But it can also just be that I really dislike playing them. And in my experience, there's never been a hero that I understood intuitively that I didn't like playing. Like once I understood it, I liked playing it. That's just been my experience.
Are you saying maybe by playing other stuff and like getting better at the game in general, maybe I understood a mechanic that now I can use for those heroes too?
Yes, that is almost
Mm.
certainly what happened, and I've started reframing whenever I don't dislike a hero to what do I not understand about this hero? Because that's why I don't like it. That's for me personally, and I think you and I have something in common there, but it may be different for you. That's why I'm saying I don't know if it helps.
I mean, anything helps, but like, I have nothing to do. I can just try play 2 games, and I'm
Yeah, I
playing
mean,
a lot
for
of online with friends anyway, so that's.
yeah, for me, like, if you end up not liking the hero, I'd give similar advice to what I gave to Galder, which is just ask yourself, in the moment, why don't I like this hero? Like, there is something there, even if it's not obvious right away, of, like, why you don't like this hero. So,
I see.
a lot of times in the past, I would just say, I really dislike this hero, and instead of, like, asking myself, because it's really uncomfortable to not like something, instead of saying exactly, why don't I like this, I'd just be like, fuck this hero, and I'd just move on. So it's just everything we don't like, we just need to create a discussion around, in my opinion. So that's what I would do if I were you. Some degree of try a
Okay,
hero
I'll
out.
give it a shot in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and maybe
Yeah.
we can talk about it again when you're back on Dreamly.
Yep, sounds good, man. Curious how it goes.
Thanks.
No problem. Boot it. Okay. Yep. So like he already said, and I mentioned it earlier, but just to recap, I will be gone for the next 2 weeks. I'll be here on Sunday, meaning 6 days from now, Sunday. So I'll be there helping Snail work the workshop. And then I will be gone at Dream League, but the workshops will still be continuing. So just giving you guys that heads up. I know I mentioned yesterday the general direction that the Dojo Plus is going, and long story short, nothing significant has changed with what we're going to do with workshops, but the direction of how this like membership and everything is going to work is going to change. And I just want to let you guys know that we plan to update you in about a week of exactly how that's going to go. And just know that we are going to be trying to be as transparent as possible, and we'll keep you guys posted. But basically, I try to be as honest as possible, but also things change. So what I said yesterday is still happening that direction, but things will be a bit different than I anticipated. So I don't want to give you like a new update because that might change in like a day. So just letting you guys know that there have been a few changes, and I'll keep you guys posted. So thanks for joining for the class, and I'll see you guys on Sunday, hopefully in the workshop. What happens on the 4th week of the workshop? Yeah, so what's going to happen is this workshop particularly will go 5 weeks. And we'll go from there. What headphones? I just have very basic earphones. I don't have any fancy headphones. But yeah, I'll let you guys go there. Thanks for joining me. Social battery is officially depleted, people. It's officially depleted. Does not hitting tier 2s apply to LD? I mean, with the bear, not really. But like, if you don't have ags yet, then I'd say no. But I'd say even on average, like maybe on LD specifically, it's okay to hit tier 2s. But I mean, there's just been yet to be a time where I'm watching the people I'm coaching hit a tier 2, and I'm like, that's a good idea prior to 20 minutes. It just doesn't happen. Every time it's them like forcing a tier 2. So I am going to go. Thanks for watching, guys. I just need to relax my brain. My brain is fried. So thanks for joining me for the stream. I'm going to try to play some pubs either tomorrow or Thursday. I just have a lot of prep for like YouTube and stuff that I need to do before I go to Dream League. So it's been really tough to find time to play Dota, which sucks because I do like playing Dota. But it is what it is. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.